when a person comes to me, they usually have some outcome that they've been unable to achieve in their life just on their own. So what we do is we start to get clarity on what it is they actually want. This appeals to the conscious mind or the cortical level of our brain. Now, before I begin anything else, I need to say that the brain is a complex and magnificent organ. It works like a symphony. And even though there are particular aspects of the brain that have very specialized nerves that do very specialized functions, nothing works in isolation. So, for example, our sense of experience is a combination of where all of the neural pathways for our senses come together before they go for processing to the cortex. And this gives us a sense of overall experience. So when a person comes to me, we work out what it is that they're actually looking for. So, am I wanting a Ferrari, or am I wanting respect from people around me? So we go through a process of clarification. Part of the work that I do is about improving the functionality of their nervous system so that the pathways become much more resilient. Now, what that means in practical terms is that a person's level of stress and anxiety and discontentment drops profoundly over about a 15-session series. Now, what it also means with some of the developmental work that I do with neurology is that we can stimulate the nervous system to go through its developmental phases all over again, from early infancy all the way up to our chronological age. So I wouldn't be surprised if you know people who are fully mature physically, but in fact, emotionally, they revert back to a 2-year-old when they don't get what they want and do everything, almost holding their breath and stomping their feet. I've seen this a lot in the corporate sector. And even though it is an advantage for people getting what they want, it doesn't breed good culture within the organisation. So whether I work with executives or whether I work with people who are going through a big change in their life, I sometimes work with people who have been traumatised, for example, by living through a war or finding themselves in a foreign country as a refugee, trying to cope with what has happened to them in the past. No matter what, the more that we can release, like a white noise of stress that bombards us always, the more we can allow the body to release that, the calmer it becomes. And then when we start the developmental process, the person will begin to rewire and rewire in a more healthy way. Now, in neuroscience terms, this is called neuroplasticity. And the phrase is, if we can get it to fire together, it will wire together. I use a program that is designed to communicate to different types of understanding and functions within the brain. The program gives the conscious mind a structure to work with, and the application of the neuroscience and the neural development gives the change in the perspective. So we're working the nervous system, and it is like a gym workout, not physically, but in what it does. It improves the robustness and the resilience of the nervous system. And typically what clients will experience is a marked reduction in stress, anxiety, and discontentment. And they find that their attitude is much more positive about achieving the things. So they're no longer insurmountable obstacles, they're actually just tasks that have to be completed.